Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. There's already a protection order in place, but the stalker, he's still stalking. And seriously, dude, no one's going to fall for the fat finger excuse. Judge Monk, he's not messing around. Beware. The bond is big. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Jennings. We're in court today to hear a motion of modification of the EPO that is currently issued against you. Currently in the courtroom, I have an assistant district attorney present, and then I also have a criminal investigator of the district attorney's office that's present, as well as the victim in this case today. If I can go ahead and get you under test or oath this morning, Sean, any testimony you give before this court today, do you solemnly swear affirm that testimony will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Excuse me while I drink some water because my throat is getting a little raspy. And counsel, are you going to be calling the victim in this case on this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Kelly, if I can have you stand, please, and raise your right hand. Ma'am, any testimony given today, do you solemnly swear or affirm that that testimony will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, ma'am. Kelly, can I ask you just sit right there on that end seat, please? And that way the camera can focus on you. I'm not going to have you come up here to the witness stand. Any testimony that's going to be presented to the court, I'm going to be comfortable enough, if you're comfortable enough, to present it in that position there, okay? That way the attorney can just kind of turn sideways and just propose any questions to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. So at this time, there is a motion to modify the protective order. If the state would like to make any statements to the court in reference to that, or would you like for the victim to state why she's asking this court to consider a motion to modify?
I have a brief statement.
Yes, please.
And then I'll turn it over to Ms. Alexander.
All right, thank you.
I just want on the record that the state is not opposed to any modifications that Ms. Alexander requests in this case.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Alexander, you've asked this court in a written motion to modify the protective order that I issued, or the emergency protective order that I issued to Mr. Sean Jennings in reference to a stalking charge that he was magistrated on. Can you state to the court why you're wanting me to modify and what purposes is this for?
So he has continuously gone out of his way to make a point of contact with me, regardless whether I had him blocked from social media or not. He's began commenting on my work social media page, which I assisted helping with social media for Harvest House. And so there's that's very apparent. He has also made a donation to an event that he knows that I host every single year under the ticket status. So there was a concern about whether he would be trying to attend this event and all of those things. I think it's just for my safety and my well-being. With his erratic behaviors from the past, it becomes very concerning to me and my position with our organization.
All right, ma'am. Counsel, do you have any questions of the victim in this case on behalf of the state?
Briefly, Your Honor.
Please.
Has the defendant tried to contact you in other ways, such as via phone call? Yes, he did try to reach out to me via phone on Friday. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, for clarification, when we say Friday, what date are we talking about, ma'am?
We're talking about April. I think that was the 10th.
So this past Friday?
Yes, this past Friday.
4 days ago. All right, thank you, ma'am. And is there proof of that, of him reaching out?
Yes, I have shared that with him.
The investigator? So let me get you under oath before you give any testimony. Sir, any testimony given today, do you solemnly swear affirm that it'll be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Can you provide this court some information in reference to her statement she just made?
If I may approach, Your Honor.
You may, sir.
I have an email that was forwarded to me of a photograph of the.
Thank you. So this is a screenshot of a contact information of a Sean Jennings, phone number Friday, April the 10th, missed call at 8:34 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Can you forward that to the court, please?
I can.
All right, thank you. Anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Jennings?
Yes, sir.
In reference to the motion filed this court for the modification of the EPO that I issued to you, and I remember our conversation very strict, at the jail was giving you strict guidelines not to reach out to her in any manner whatsoever. And I think in my order, I specifically put communicating directly with a person protected by this order, a member of the family or household of a person protected by this order, or threatening, harassing manner. Furthermore, communicating a threat through any person to a person protected by this order, or a member of the family or household, or person protected by this order. Furthermore, I also checked on there communicating in any manner with a person protected by this order, or a member of the family or household, or a person protected by this order, except through the person's attorney or a person appointed by the court, if applicable, the person's attorney. And at that time, we did not have an attorney information for you. Furthermore, on the bottom of page 2, going within 100 yards of the residence or place of employment or business of a protected person by this order, a member of the family or household, or a person protected by this order. And then I listed the address and showed that the Harvest House was a protected entity of her employment. And she's stating that you have reached out on social media and furthermore purchased event tickets to one that she is coordinating with. And now they're telling me that there's some information that you reached out to her on a Friday morning phone call. Can you state in reference to what is going on here, sir?
Yes, sir.
Modify this.
Yeah, yes, sir, I can. So the event, I went to the webpage and it was posted, it was shared by a gentleman named Mike Purdue, which I follow on social media. He is hosting the event, performing, whatnot. I simply made a donation. I did not buy tickets. I also make donations to other places such as Rachel's Hope. The church I used to attend partnered with Harvest House before, so there was nothing. I have no intention of going to the event or anything else. I did not realize that just, falling out or, just following the page was an issue. In regards to the phone call, I was getting a new work phone set up at our office Friday morning and was trying to delete that contact. That's why it was immediately cut off. Rudy Sanchez is our IT guy, and he was the one that was transferring all data from my old phone to my new phone.
Is Rudy Sanchez available?
I can call him. Yes, sir. I didn't realize that that's what this was about.
Off-site?
Sorry, sir.
Is he a worker or are you at your work facility or are you off-site?
I'm off site right now.
All right. Anything else, sir?
No, sir. Like I said, I have not tried to make contact. I have not, not intentionally, and I apologize if it seems that way, but I also have not been to Burleson in months. I drove through it to check in with my bonds and following my release. That is the last time I've been to Burleson.
Okay. State, have any questions of this person?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have a copy of that EPO that I issued to you, Sean?
I do, sir.
All right. I want you to go to bottom of page 3.
Can I step away to grab it, sir?
Sure, go ahead, please.
All right. Yes, sir. Page 3, sir.
You see the one that has a X marked in the box next to tracking or monitoring?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when I gave you that order that day, I very specifically emphasized the tracking and monitoring of the personal property of the individual. And I know it's kind of far-fetched, but anything involving social media is kind of covered in a catch-all on that one, as well as her place of employment. So your own testimony today stated that you have reached out on her social media site and you have followed people in knowing that this is a stalking charge and in reference to the charge that's against you. It's pretty serious allegations and it's made her very uncomfortable by your behavior. Furthermore, with a phone conversation or a phone call to that address. Now, I've set up phones, sir, and I've got a brand new phone here. And it has buttons on here that protect me from going to that. And if I go to my contact list, I actually have to push the name, and then I have to go over here and I have to push the little phone symbol to call it. And I don't know how that happens when it is set up, sir. So can you explain to me how that happened?
So, yes, sir. So when everything took place, I deleted her contact info. That way there was nothing there. When the new phone was being set up and he was checking to make sure emails had transferred and everything else, the number popped up as a favorite with no contact info. So I was trying to hit the number to be able to delete because there was no contact in it. When doing so, it immediately called and we immediately shut it down. And then he was able to remove the number. There was no ill will towards that whatsoever, Your Honor. And Your Honor, could I please?
But in reference to the social media activity, that is really concerning to me, sir, because I told you very specifically at the time I was at the jail with you not to reach out to her in any manner.
Sir, if I could.
Please.
So I had followed Mike Purdue and his band prior to this happening.
Okay.
But if need be, I'll totally delete social media. I didn't realize that, any kind of mutual thing there, whether it be somebody that she knew and somebody I followed would be a violation.
Okay. Kelly, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You're saying that he purchased tickets?
So what it is that he went to the ticket hub. Instead of actually purchasing tickets, he made a $500 donation to an event that he knows that I host every year. Another concerning fact for me is that I was actually vetting bands for this concert last year, and he attended an event for Mike Purdue's band with me. And so if there was a relationship there before that, I am not aware.
With Mike Purdue?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Sir, may I?
No, just hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
So it looked like he had purchased tickets, but when you got down into it, when I printed the attendees list, his name wasn't actually on there, so we investigated. He actually just donated $500 to the event that he's very well aware I put on for Harvest House.
Okay. Has the case been indicted yet?
Not yet, Your Honor. It's going to grand jury next week on April 22nd, and we anticipate an indictment then.
Is there a motion by the state at this time to hold his bond insufficient?
Not currently, Your Honor. We typically wait until it's been indicted.
Okay. In the investigation, Jason, in your investigation, what is your professional observation of this in reference to him making that donation and the investigation of the case of the overall facts of the stalking elements?
If I can give just a
Please.
short biography. I hold a bachelor's degree in sociology with a focus in deviant behavior and social
Okay.
control. I'm currently in a master's program along those same lines. I find these to be very troubling behaviors. I find that his continued monitoring of her social media and where she's going, I find those to be troubling. And when you combine that with his profession and his access to explosives, these are things I find even more troubling. I don't believe that this phone call was made by accident. I believe that this is an ongoing pattern of behavior.
Thank you, sir. So that I'm clear on two fronts here. First one being the EPO modification that the defendant's going to be hereby ordered not to monitor or comment on any social media accounts related to Harvest House. Is there any other accounts, Kelly, that I need to include in this? Because I'm going to be very specific on some of the wording here. Is there any other accounts? You have a personal social media account as well?
I do have personal social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I feel like I'm missing one. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok.
Okay. John, in reference to the order of this court, there's two orders that's going to be issued today. The first one being the modification of the EPO to include any and all social media accounts. You are not to comment on those, monitor them in any way whatsoever associated with Harvest House. The young lady in question, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name.
Alexander.
Thank you, Kelly Alexander. And furthermore, the court's going to show your bond insufficient today, and a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest due to the violation of reaching out to her on this protective order. So, sir, you can contact your attorney and or your bondsman, but a warrant will be issued for your arrest within the next hour. Your bond will be double from what I set it at the jail. And that bond, I'm just going to give you a heads up right now. I will set your bond at $100,000. So, sir, you can turn yourself in freely, or I'll send an officer out to get you.
I will be turning myself in, sir.
All right, sir, there'll be a warrant issued in about an hour for your arrest. So you can turn yourself in this afternoon due to the bond being insufficient to you, due to you violating the protective order that I issued on March the 4th of 2026, and your own testimony stating such today. Anything else, Sean?
No, sir.
All right, sir, you're excused from court.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Counsel, I'm going to issue a bond insufficient warrant. I'll have it prepared and sent over to warrants Johnson County within the hour.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, ma'am. Kelly, I'll get a copy of this order prepared. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get on here and get all this legalese done, but with him violating protective order, straight out reaching out to you, number one, there's no excuse for that. When I get him in jail, the bond could increase. But as of right now, it's going to reflect double because that's what I normally do. But there might be some extenuating circumstances that bond could increase between now and the time he is seen by the judge tomorrow morning if he turns himself in today.
Okay. But it's just, is it just us?
It's just us now.
Okay.
But hold on one second. Okay. In reference to anything you want to say to the court, we are still on the record. Okay. Because we're still live and in court. If you're asking for anything to be considered in reference to the protective order, I would ask that you,
Can't wait.
if you can just present it to the council and then they can make a motion to the court, okay? Because I've already excused the other party. Okay, and it's ex parte communication and I feel it's the right thing that we need to do, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome, ma'am. All right, is there anybody else here for court?
No,
So at this time, we'll adjourn and everybody have a good day.